Hi, everybody. So the question is, how can we actually treat and unleash the full potential of our brains? And we have to know that the brain is the most intricate organ known to science. Actually, the one that keeps us human and the one that keeps us sane. The brain actually works through chemical and electrical impulses. When those impulses are orchestrated in a balanced way, we are healthy. When there is imbalance, we become ill, and we could have a mental disorder. Humans, we've been trying to access constantly the brain in order to heal it, in order to understand it. So even before Christ and in the Inca Empire later, we have testimonies of trepanations of the entire Inca people trying to access the brain. And actually, there's also documentation that 90% of these procedures actually succeeded, and there was a great success. We've been also trying to find materials on planet Earth to make tools to understand and access the brain. Platinum and iridium are some of the ones that are most common and the ones that we have in most of the medical devices today. Actually, thanks to these tools, to these materials, we've been able to treat people in millions in a dramatic, impressive way. I had the fortune to work for 13 years in Medtronic, where you might have heard about deep brain stimulation, which is the most commercial and oldest interface that we know of today. And it's able to treat symptoms of diseases like Parkinson, epilepsy, tremor, obsessive compulsive, and so on. So we have progressed a lot using these materials. Now, with all that, we've only been able to decode 100,000 neurons or the size of a zebrafish. Now, the brain, the human brain, has nearly 100 billion neurons. So if we don't decode all that diversity of neurons, we will not be able to actually cure brain disorders. And 1 out of 3 people have a neuro-related disorders. 30% are actually refractory to medical treatment, and that creates a great cost for the society of about 800 billion euros per year in only Europe. Now, every leap in humanity has been linked to a new material. From Stone Age to Silicon Age today, and in neurotechnology, we think that bidimensional materials like graphene are going to push the boundaries in neuroscience, and we are obliged to understand them, to work with them, and to bring them to the market. So graphene is the thinnest material known to man, at an atom thick, yet 200 times stronger than steel, is flexible, transparent, biocompatible, has great unique opportunities to become the ideal brain interface. And indeed, we have harnessing the properties, the physical properties of graphene to actually create novel interfaces that will allow us to decode the brain, understand it, and go beyond what we know today. What you see here is some of the data that we've been actually exploring with graphene in terms of high-resolution biomarkers. So you see metal, so platinum and iridium, have been able to give us some information about what's going on in the brain, but when you compare it to graphene, the resolution of the material is unparalleled. And thus, we can go beyond and understand those biomarkers that make us ill, treat them, and become healthy. That's exactly what we are doing. So far, the brain has been decoded nuclei by nuclei. Like that, we'll never make it. We are going network by network. So we are connecting a cortical brain-computer interface with a subcortical neuromod module, and we are looking at those biomarkers that actually correspond to pathological symptoms in a particular disease state. We have motor networks, epilepsy networks, psych networks. This is just an example of Parkinson's disease, where you have a nigrostriatal network that connects deep in the brain to the cortex. This time, this way, we'll be able to keep patients at the highest percentage on therapy, and therefore healthy. So what if we could treat and unleash the whole potential of the brain? We are every day closer to the point where we can do wonderful things with our brain beyond what we are doing today, pushing the frontiers of neurotechnology. Thank you very much.